The vice president rushed in to report, but when he left, he said the boss told him to manage it. Just handle it. At that moment, the uncle was idly sitting in the office, because he didn't even know what his position was for. Then, as he opened the book, was surprised to find he could understand the contents. Could it be that the boss' memories haven't disappeared, but have been hidden away? She asked him to handle some issues. Reluctantly, the uncle answered the international call. He heard fluent English on the line. Just as he was about to lose it, Shin each realized he could understand every word coming through the phone. He could even engage in smooth conversation. However, the upcoming task perplexed him, because he still couldn't recall the bank system's password. Checking on his recovery. 10, which confused the uncle immensely. Why was the bank president so certain of his private password? And uncle prepared to leave early. Unexpectedly, he asked who needed to request for leave. Uncle's actions left everyone confused again. Fortunately, his buddy Aiden quickly reminded him, "You are the president of this bank,
so you don't need to ask anyone for leave. That makes sense."
Before leaving, Uncle bowed to express his apologies. After Uncle left, everyone relaxed. They thought they would get to leave early today. But unexpectedly, Uncle returned again. I still feel a bit awkward. If everyone finishes their work, then I'll take my leave. See you all tomorrow. This made everyone uneasy. They thought the boss was testing them. They hurried back to their desks to work. Meanwhile, the one causing all this trouble, he stated he would stay to help him until this poor uncle returns home. Then they found Uncle looking troubled in the library. At this moment, Mimi transformed into a beautiful woman to test Uncle. Seeing Uncle's lecherous gaze like everyone else, the messenger was convinced that even with the swap soul, but Zachary is still not a good man. Uncle is surely reaping big rewards after getting smart and a pretty wife. He sure won't go back to the past. That poor family and beside his wife. Uncle can't sleep at night. He found Mia was still awake so late. He went out and saw her anxiously waiting in the living room. He learned that after asking around, Uncle burst out laughing at that. After all, boys grow up this way. Mia was curious why she hadn't snapped at him today. "Why should I snap at you?" Raising a child isn't solely one person's job. In the middle of the night, Uncle saw Mia asleep on the couch, so he went back to get a blanket to cover her. At that moment, Mia finally felt touched by Uncle. Meanwhile, the officer came to the bank to check on Uncle's stat, because the last thing Uncle did before dying was to visit their bank for a loan, and his accident vehicle had been tampered with. I found this client's intent deeply impressive, because his name is exactly like our president's. The man was surprised to find he had $2.5 billion in cash under his name. Then he remembered that he is now the prominent bank president Zachary. To fully understand the true nature of this body's owner, he told his staff to note down all their complaints anonymously. It turns out this body was indeed unpopular. The president was a total devil. If it weren't for work, I would have hit you long ago. Since he always offers help to help his wife's family, Bella invited him out to ask for the reason. She wanted to know why the president dressed in a hospital gown at her door. He even called her his wife. The guy didn't know how to explain, so he lied, saying he had illness that caused him to hallucinate. Bella thought he might be mentally ill, but he couldn't understand why her husband would become friends with such a person. Seeing this, the guy lied. They met through a lottery partnership. He took the winnings and ran off. He felt guilty afterward, so he wanted to return the winnings. "Do you miss your husband?" Bella openly expressed she missed her husband dearly. Unexpectedly, Zachary suddenly said, "I miss you too."
Oh, look at my mouth.
It seems this guy is still pretty sick. When Zachary got back to the office, all he could think about was his family. Then he received a call from the school teacher. He learned that Zachary's son was at school. He didn't care that he was bullied. However, he was stunned when he heard the next line. It was his so precious daughter. Graffiti on his daughter's locker. His daughter hit him in anger. Frustrated, Zachary blamed everything on his son. He put all the guilt on his own child. Mia felt really strange about this. Afterward, Zachary's daughter liked him, the unfamiliar man before her, because everywhere she looked, she saw the shadow of her late father. Seeing her husband caring for another man's daughter, Mia looked on in disbelief. Just last night, she told him their son hadn't come home for 2 days, but he seemed totally unconcerned. His behavior disappointed Mia badly. Meanwhile, Zachary was shocked to discover he was gradually feeling some habits of this body became clear. Began to emerge gradually.
Don't insult me, you bastard.
I'm not like this. The next day, Miley needed to up her game, so she decided to sell insurance to her husband's friend. Share his identification number. However, Mylan was shocked to find that the number was her husband's. How could this be my husband's number? What's going on? She even found in his office her husband's favorite potted plant. Have also been in a car accident, and the date matched exactly with her husband's accident. When she saw the man being interviewed on TV, she was stunned to discover this man had a little habit her husband couldn't quit. She recalled the man visited her on her husband's accident day. Could he really be her husband come back to life?